Hey, what's up, guys? This is Hanswin, and I haven't actually made a video for a while, so I'm just gonna do one that everyone asks: how to choose a racket. Now, you ask a person every day, like, which racket do I get? Which racket should I buy? Is this a good price? Is this a good, is this a good racket? Is this a fake racket? Is this a real racket? Many questions arrive at your feet, and you just don't know what to do. You look at stats like these and you believe them, you buy them. Doesn't feel like what you read on the sheet right here. So you have flex, composition, everything. Okay, flex is stiff. Okay, might be stiff for me. Might hurt my wrist. I must be a smashing dude to actually use the stiffness, ability of the stiffness of the racket. So here is the point: the racket chooses you. Just like Anna Rice said in her videos, and that is, this is a credit to her, the racket chooses you. What I mean by that is you can't just look at a racket by its stats, and you can't just determine, oh, this must be a crappy racket for me. Oh, this must be crap. Oh, this must be like really good for me. You just cannot say that. It takes years and years and years for you to get the correct rackets. So when you're just starting, it doesn't really matter which racket you play with. You play with it and you slowly get into the dimension of doubles, singles. You try every component of badminton and you pick one, whether you want to play doubles only or you want to play singles only. So this is the tricky part. If you are players like Lee Yong-dae, the guy in front, you kind of want a light racket, if you know what I'm saying. You want a light racket so that you can react fast at the net. But you don't want a stiff racket either, because you got to be very flexible in your style and you got to be very agile in front. The guy in the back, you rather want a stiff and heavy racket for good smashing and constant, because you're going to be constantly smashing. And of course, let's go to singles. For example, singles, if you're Lin Dan style, you want a heavy racket, man. You want a powerful racket. But for most people, you actually want quite a light racket for singles, because you're going to be moving around with that thing and you're going to be doing a lot of shots, a lot of trick shots. Maybe you're a trick shot guy. Maybe you're not just a runner. Okay? So that's an advice for you. Just remember that you have to try out the racket first. Then you can determine which one you like. So if you want to, let's say, buy a $50 racket, you don't expect anything from that. You don't want to expect anything good from that racket, to be honest. If you want a good racket, you gotta go up $100 at least. Okay? In Canada, you want to get a good racket like Valtre, it takes $200. So for people you in Asia, you have nothing to complain about. Um, and also, if you really want to get a really good racket, you better be a good player. A good player with crappy rackets can still beat you with a lower level skill with a better racket. It doesn't matter because they can beat you with a stick, a wooden racket from like what 19 something, if they really had any wooden rackets like in tennis. So, I mean, rackets are lighter nowadays. The technology has changed. They have made the rackets lighter and but then more powerful. So this idea of, oh, this is heavy, it must be powerful. Oh, this is light, it must have no power. Please don't worry about that. Racket doesn't matter as much as the strings. You want to get the right strings on the right racket. You got to have that combo. String matters the most, more than the racket, I would say. Depending on which strings you get, you really get a performance boost or performance, lowered or anything like that. So get good strings, get a good racket. All I'm saying is get $100 rackets if you're good. If you're a beginner, I don't recommend you getting $50. I don't recommend you getting like above $100 because that would be just pointless. If you're getting serious about it, and like in the beginning you'll be like, oh, I'll be serious about this, I'll go crazy in badminton, and sometimes you give up. Most of the times you don't. I didn't find anyone just give up on badminton, because badminton is quite addicting when you start it. So what I did actually, I bought a good racket at first. I actually bought Arc Saber 10 actually. I bought a pretty good racket, yes, and I was very, very good with that racket. So it just got lucky for me, you know. It just worked out. The chemistry between the racket and my hands, just it was just spot on. So depending on if you're lucky, I wouldn't recommend taking that risk and buying like $200 Arc Saber 10s. Okay, that's probably not a good idea. You gotta work out the chemistry between you and yourself, and you and your racket. And you really got to think about, can I make certain shots, can I make every shot with this racket? So when you try it, you got to try every freaking shot possible. You cross the court, everything, trick shot, weird stuff, anything. And really, depending on if you're playing singles or doubles, like I said, you need to change the flexibility and the stiffness and the lightness, and also the tension on the racket is very, very important too. Never go above the recommended tension on the racket, period. You don't want to go over. Why? Because it will ruin your racket automatically. The tension on the professionals are very high because they have so many rackets. They can just break one and then they can just throw it away, and they never use it. Okay, they bring 12 rackets. Okay, if they just use one, all the other 11 rackets, they throw it away because they're sponsored. Doesn't matter. Don't put too high on the tension unless your racket requires it. Like my Tryon racket requires a 26 to 28 pounds. Okay, it requires a 26 to 28, so I put on a 28. Okay, but like for example, I want to put some good amount of tension on my Voltric 70. The maximum is 24. I'm going maximum 24. Never, never, never go above. You can go below, but you won't get the same feeling and the comfort if you change around the tension. So stay consistent with the tension. Get a good racket. If you're beginner, start with a $50 racket, and then move on as you get better and better and better. Okay, so I'm just going to recap here. Beginner, $50 racket, good enough. Start with it. If you don't like it afterwards and you're getting, your level is higher than the badminton racket level, I should say, then get a better badminton racket. But if you're an intermediate player, you're just playing some games, now you can play some games, you can kind of, fool around with your racket. I suggest you try many different rackets during that intermediate level time. You're not going to have time in the serious levels, or maybe even professional levels. I hope you have a favorite string by the professional time, but seriously, if you're in the intermediate level, just try every freaking racket possible. Go ask around. Go ask your friend. I'm pretty sure so many of your friends have badminton rackets that you can just try. I'm pretty sure they don't have the same Arc Saber like 10s like I did. Like I went to my school and everyone had Arc Saber 10. And I was like, oh great, this is just terrible. I can't even try different rackets. But in your case, it might be different. So that's the thing. If you're intermediate level, try out every freaking racket possible during that time. Boom. And then you pick one. What's the best for you? You're going to go for singles or doubles. You can't play both with the same racket. Trust me. You cannot play both with the same racket. That's not going to happen. Singles racket is usually a lighter racket and not a heavy smash friendly racket, not a react fast racket, okay? Doubles, if you use a doubles racket for singles, you're not going to have such a great time moving around with that heavy racket of yours, or rather super stiff racket. So that is the recap of how to choose a racket, and also a little bit about the tension and the strings too. It's very important. Tension in the strings over rackets anytime. So this is Hansman's guide to how to choose racket. Please check out my other videos. And some of this info is actually from Anna Rice, so you can check out her videos on the link below. So that was Hansman. Peace out, guys.